Hello and welcome to this obscure corner of the internet. I don't know how you got here, but I'm happy you did, and I truly hope you stick around for a while. So I created this fresh YouTube channel to share what I've learned in the past couple of years about digital painting. Sorry, I'm not natively English. And hopefully I can learn something from the 5 people in the comments. Also, I'm horribly sorry for the horrible mic quality. But I don't have anything better except for my Oculus Quest right now, and I don't want to strap that to my face when it's this hot in this room. So yeah, that was all the build up. Now we're gonna get straight to painting. Okay, so as you might have been able to see, I started with a sketch that I made on a different canvas, and I copy and pasted it in a new canvas in the resolution I wanted. So also I'm working on a new iPad I got for my 17th birthday a couple of it's 2 months ago. It's in April. Whatever, doesn't matter. Uh, uh, what was I gonna say? So after I pasted in the initial sketch, I turned on a perspective guide that Procreate has built in. I lined it up so it fits the scene and the composition, and I think it worked out pretty well. After I did the second sketch where the perspective is actually like feasible, that it's not some kind of whimsical impressionistic perspective thing, I did some cleanup. As you see right now before you, there is some fairly clean line art, which is more than enough for what I was planning, which is just to paint something in it, like what you're seeing right now. The painting of the bushes and the background is what took me like 80% of the entire time I spent painting this piece, which is the total time is way more than I would like to share right now, but I like the end result, so I guess it's fine. Now I'm just filling in the flat colors, so I have a rough idea of what I want it to look like when it's done. But it was way too dark, so I lit it up a bit with the curves tool, the curves adjustment in Procreate. So here you can see me do the first of my many attempts to render the bushes in the background. You'll see me erase and redo and all sorts of stuff that took up a lot of my time, but it's fine, because as I said, the end result is nice, and I learned a lot from the process, so that's also a plus. And I think it's good for people to see that there is way more than just the final product. There are like loads of steps that go wrong along the way, and don't judge yourself by what you see people post on Instagram. There is a lot of work that goes behind that. And if you find it too painful to see me struggle with the bushes in the background, you can skip to right around the 5-minute mark, where I'll start adding in the lights and the fun effects. So this is where I start lighting the piece. As you can see, I start with the roof, the overhead thing, so you don't get wet from the rain or cold from the snow or whatever. And this process takes a while because I mean, it's not very precise, but you have to get some shape design that you actually like looking at. Uh, and you can see that on the left I also added some bounce light from the sky to make it to give it some more of a 3D effect. Makes it look a lot better. Fun tip: if your work looks flat, try to find out what the actual shape is, so you can try to add light and bounce light on the correct places. Maybe I'll do a tutorial on that in the next couple of weeks, months, maybe days. Who's to say, really? Well, I mean, I am, because I'm the one who has to make the video. But no. I'll make you the ones who say it. If there's 2 comments that say you want a tutorial on lighting and form and stuff, I'll do a video in the next 2 weeks. Yeah? Deal? Good. Here you can see me experimenting with a bunch of like texture brushes and leaf brushes, because I am actually sick of trying to hand render the texture of these leaves, but then I go back to just with a normal ass paintbrush. I do go back in the end with a single a brush to just give some accents of extra leaf texture, so you can see the little floating leaves around the bushes. I'm gonna use the leaf brush to fill those in, to just give it the effect that it's more detailed than it actually is. Also worth noting, I was trying to accomplish this Studio Ghibli-like style from like My Neighbor Totoro or Princess Mononoke or like Spirited Away, Ponyo. Well, not necessarily the style, but I definitely did want to get that feeling across, that nice, cozy, free feeling where you, well, I mean, I hope if I did my job right, you get the feeling from this painting. Definitely towards the end, but you might already be feeling it a little bit right now. Right here you'll see me actually going too detailed in the background, to the point that it distracts from the foreground elements. So that's also a handy tip. Make sure that your focus is able to stay on the elements that are most important, like the characters here in front, and well, I mean, that's pretty much it. Maybe like the trash can or the bus sign or the house, but the characters are most important because they give a lot of the mood, the feeling. To get back to the background real quick, I just noticed that the left side of the bushes and trees and stuff, I rendered really differently from the right side. The left is like tiny balls and stuff, while the right side is more organic shapes, and yeah, it's not very consistent, which is why it's important that you don't look at a project for like more than 1.5 hours at a time. You should probably only do like 1 hour at a time, so that when you get back to it, you can see your flaws. And here you can see me testing out the leaf brush I was talking about earlier. What I did is just speckle the brush on the sides of the painting and then erase from the inside out, so you basically only have the outside texture, which makes it look a lot more detailed than it actually is. Now you can see me with a fairly big brush painting in the reflections that the water is supposed to be reflecting in the right perspective. I leave the characters out for last because they're pretty complicated, and nothing in here is like I'm basically painting in one layer, which means that I can't just copy and paste stuff around, which is annoying, but limitations breed creativity. And this might be obvious to some people, but in reflections, you don't just have a copy of what you see in front of you flipped upside down and then pasted uh, right underneath the object. You actually have the same object but standing upside down, like you can see with the chair and the bus sign thing. The trash can, you don't see it as obviously with, but yeah, you get what I mean. Here I'm putting some basic lighting on the bricks on the sidewalk that you can see lightly through the reflection. You don't see it that obviously, but it gives it some extra dimensionality, so it doesn't feel as flat. Oh, and right now I'm adding shadows. I almost forgot about that. It's yeah, I'm not gonna get into cast shadows right now, but I might in another video. We'll see. After having used the liquify tool to give the water some wobbly effects, I go in with a small brush with close to white, but well, it's mostly the color of the inside of the lights, the brightest part of the lights, and I go in and make the ripple effects that are like around edges of stuff and around grass later, but I haven't added the grass yet. There I am making a dent in the trash can, and I do kind of like the way it looks, but for some reason I lost that somewhere during the process there. You saw it disappear out of nowhere, and I don't bother to put it back there, though I do miss it now. Now I'm adding some extra foliage and some grass along the floor to give it some extra interest and make the world feel like it's lived in. Makes it feel a lot less boring. Also, I just neglected to comment on the two little Studio Ghibli stickers I put on the trash can. Not because they're trash. Um, uh, Shoot, I'm digging myself into a hole. People often put like stickers on trash cans and stuff, so I thought that's like a fun place to put two references, one from Totoro and one from No Face from Spirited Away. Now you see me spending some time to fix up his boots because I did not go any further than just the final sketch in detail and form and structure, so they were kind of just blobs. I don't really like them anymore now, but they at least convey the form better. Now you'll see me trying a couple different ways to animate rain into this scene, because I discovered that Procreate has an animation feature, and I really enjoy some light animation in still images. But I've never done rain before, so I wasn't really sure how I should go about doing that. I first did a couple of just straight lines, but figured out soon enough that that did not look good. So then I just went in by hand and did some random stripes and stuff. And I think the most important thing is the little specks of water that bounce back from hard surfaces that you see me adding now. Well, before I was adding the water ripples from raindrops entering them. Now I'm just adding some water splashes to the ripples so they don't look so static. Now I'm adding an extra layer of rain so it looks a bit more thick, so it's just like raining a little harder, that it's not just a drizzle. And I think that, yeah, we're approaching the end. It's basically done now. So I hope you liked the video, I hope it made you chuckle, or I hope you learned something. I hope you got something out of this video. If you have some tips for me or tricks, or want to learn something else, or want me to cover something, just leave it in the comments below. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye.